we're going to start out with Auntie Lee's Meat Pies from 1992. Summary for this film: a devil-worshipping woman sends out her 4 beautiful nieces to lure men back to her place so they can be killed, ground up, and sold as meat pies. Directed by Joseph F. Robertson. He dealt mostly in B-movie stuff early in his career, but the bulk of his credentials are as a female porno director known as Adele Robbins, known for such titles as The Little French Maid, Erotic Aerobics, Debbie Does Dallas 3, The Final Chapter, The Long Ranger, and many, many more. I believe he also did some gay porn under a different name, but I didn't write that down. Written by Joseph F. Robertson and Gerald Stein. Jason, do you have any information?
I do. Tagline: a real slice of life. Distributed by Trans World Entertainment, and then through Columbia TriStar for the home VHS release. This is out on Blu-ray through Vinegar Syndrome, released last year, 21.
Great double feature with Microwave Massacre. That's what I say. Anyways, Jared, we're going to start off with you if you want to give us your review on this film.
Whoa. Yeah. So when I was told that we were going to watch this movie, I was okay. So this is going to be a fun ride. And so going into it, I was expecting the worst for it, and worse in a good way, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
yeah, for sure.
I was expecting the bad, and it didn't disappoint me that way. Just from the beginning of the first guy being picked up, the first victim and everything, I knew for a fact that this was going to be bad, and it just kept going, and the ridiculousness seems to just kept getting worse and worse, and I kept having to watch, and I could not turn away. After watching the trailer and seeing that Mr. Miyagi was playing the sheriff, that had me rolling on the ground laughing, because the way he played the character was so funny to me. Like the fact
kind of
that
Southern, kind of.
It's like Boss Hogg almost.
Like Boss Hogg, Southern style sheriff, and so aloof to everything going on in his little town that he's just so worried about the ladies at Auntie Annie, Auntie Lee's, and does not give a fuck about everyone.
Andy and pretzels.
But like his interaction with Larry towards the end, where he finds the bag of body parts and stuff.
Yeah, that's bad police work right there.
He just takes him into the office to just chastise him, basically. And I was like, oh my God, just really. I'm just going to keep mine short, but like leading up to the end where he brings him in, he's like, did you know what Larry did and everything? And I was like, really?
See what happens, Larry?
There was some serious mishandling of those body parts also.
Serious mishandling.
A little bit of fumbling.
They don't have forensics in that town.
They didn't. As he says, nothing happens in this town, or whatever he said to the investigator. And it's just overall between the investigator looking for the missing man, and everything leading up to the end where they grind his hand in the excuse me, I lose words.
Disposal. What is it? Food.
The garbage disposal.
The grinder.
Just starts shoving his hand. Not my brother and stuff like. For me, I in all, like, just as a quick summary, if I give it a 6 out of 10 for me, for stupid, silly horror film. I enjoyed it, and yeah.
Regina.
All right. First of all, I have to say, Aaron, why?
Oh, because this is my shit. Welcome to my world. This is like, I call it bologna cake, but yeah, this is totally right. These guys know. These guys know. This is right.
We're quite aware.
Look at my
We are
shirt.
aware.
I'm wearing a street trash shirt. That tells you my taste.
We're aware.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, that that was one of the worst openings I've ever seen in a horror movie ever. Like, I mean, the overacting was just something to behold. He drives up and his tire goes flat and he gets out and he's screaming and hitting the car and shit, and I'm just like, oh my fucking god. It wasn't even good, but I mean, it's gonna sound that I am gonna give this movie a lot of shit. Now I know it's not supposed to be good. I get that. I totally get it. There are some good, well-known actors in it, though. I mean, you got Karen Black, who's best known for House of a Thousand Corpses as Mother Firefly. Pat Morita, which is Mr. Miyagi, and Michael Berryman, who is Pluto in The Hills Have Eyes. I almost didn't watch the rest of the movie because at the beginning, it seems like there's going to be a rape scene, but then it totally turns far left.
And you told me about it, and I was like, does it start out with a rape scene? And it is a rape scene, but it's like they wanted to get this on TV or something. It's like a PG-13 rape, because he's not like really humping, but he's definitely making sex faces, and she's knocked out. So
I know, and I can't do rape, but it was just so freaking ridiculous. And then it just totally turns far left. Like, because she ends up being one of Auntie Lee's nieces. Another thing that I found to be extremely hysterical about this movie is that the town is called Penance.
I
didn't catch that. I didn't even catch that.
A few times. Yeah.
The town is Penance. How fitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the sex jokes in this movie are just so freaking bad. They're so bad. They're they're so bad that it's funny. Like, I love dad jokes. So I love bad jokes. So I mean, when I'd hear something like really bad, and I'm like, oh my god, of course, But overall, this movie should have been called Cannibal Hookers.
Yeah, that would work.
Cannibal Hookers from Hell. Of course, they're Satanists.
It would work better than the title for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't
like if
have
it was branded better than that. Yeah.
right.
It makes sense.
Exactly. So and let's not even talk about the effects. Oh my god, plastic. That when the guy's head gets knocked off. Oh my god.
Love it.
Right?
It's like magic show shit. It's like magic shop stuff. They went to a magic shop.
Wonderful.
Magic shop from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and they bought all their effects.
Right. and Karen Black's freaking facial expressions are so hysterical throughout the entire film. I mean, she is so animated. It's it makes my ribs hurt. So but I mean, overall, the movie made me laugh. But one of the things that really caught me off guard, though, is it's a family business, but that is a regular sized kitchen, man. That is a regular sized kitchen. How are they making meat pies in that? Oh, and the band. That was the greatest.
Just making really good ones.
The band is the greatest band in history.
I've got some stuff to say about that band, I'll tell you.
What the fuck? The what the fuck moments too. Like what's up with the grown ass woman in an oversized crib chewing on an oversized bottle being pushed into the dining room in an oversized stroller? What the actual fuck?
They spent so much time on that.
Right? Like, I was like,
it was effective though.
It was effective. But the whole thing was like, no, why? Just why? So anyways, I'm gonna start wrapping up with this. Two of my favorite lines as Smooth John, real smooth, right? And then the absolute funniest line in the whole movie was, and it was paired with the woman's facial expressions. She was so unimpressed. Oh, Greg, you're so mystical.
Oh, that's a great part. That is a scene in this movie.
Yeah.
I laughed so fucking hard. So, would I watch this movie again? Probably not. But for a first time watch, first and only time, it was at least entertaining. It was so fucking bad. But yeah, I would have to follow up with for sheer entertainment, I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Right on.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess it's up to me now.
Thank
You know,
Your Honor.
like I said, this is exactly my shit. Fun fact: this is the same house from Motel Hell. I don't know if you can recognize it at all, but yeah. Two things right off the bat. They hit you with a classic Suicidal Tendency song. That song is fucking awesome. I Saw Your Mommy. That whatever that song is. They start the movie off with it. Yeah, and the crunching and munching of the credits at the beginning, where it's like animated. I love that. That's fucking so sweet. Mwah, mwah. That's beautiful. The camp factor is right in the sweet spot, where it's like little details like the priest having a compulsive amount of Jesuses and religious shit in his car, little details like that these filmmakers do to make it just weird. It reminded me a lot of Henenlotter shit, and in a lot of ways like that's perfect for me. Did anybody notice the gas prices at the gas station?
I didn't pay attention.
I didn't.
Fucking
Yeah.
$1.28 a gallon. Jesus. But
Jealous.
the trap where the dude gets caught in the closet is so hilarious. And when his head gets cut off, it looks exactly like a Guar live show. Like, I think they might have got some effects from the Guar guys. It looks just like it. And don't get me wrong, the acting is really bad, but it's bad in a fun way because these people are not actors. Like 3 of them are playmates, I think. It's really cartoony, and it's like a cinematic slab of processed pig parts. It's just fucking congealed mayo. It's bologna cake. I do feel really bad for Michael Berryman because he's got range. He's really does have actual. When you hear him talk, he's on TikTok. If you watch him talk, it's like that scene from SNL where Chris Farley was the Hulk and he gives the eulogy for Superman.
And my character was Ellis. He was a lobotomy patient who basically was what they call a vegetable, okay? And the humanity that takes place at that point in the story is so heartfelt and honest that it kind of instills within this lobotomized man the common humanity of those around him, meaning he became reanimated. He had a zest for life.
Superman was that rarest of things. Every superhero owes him a debt of gratitude and homage.
And it's like really eloquent. He speaks completely different than they make him a complete moron in this.
Yeah.
He could have been such a cool, like, sinister butcher. Like if they would have just made him fucking mean and not completely stupid that fucks up everything, I thought it was hilarious. They put little doilies on these ladies' guns. A little nice touch.
Is that what they were?
I think so.
Yeah.
Doilies? Oh, I thought it was something else.
Yeah. There was this one scene that I laughed so hard at because this private
When
investigator.
they opened the trunk?
No, I didn't. I mean, that's funny too. But whenever the private investigator comes into Pat Morita's office and like changes the radio station from that easy to get to bring in traditional Japanese radio station that he's listening to, and then he comes in and like turns it back, and he's like, that whole interaction is fucking hilarious. And the rock band is so fucking great. I love how they talk about how they're on a world tour or something, and they have probably some of the worst songs you have ever heard. One of them that I think they're pretending is them is a Mentor's song called "Young, Hot, Tight, Sweet Stuff." Just terrible. And then they play their music for the girls, and the lyrics to that song, what, I wish I wrote them down. Oh god, they are so bad. I can't remember what they were, but regardless, talking about that baby, if you thought Sherry Moon Zombie was annoying and House of a Thousand Corpses and all those Rob Zombie movies as baby, this is like shooting that shit full of fucking steroids, because they've managed to
You're not
spend
wrong.
so much money, probably most of their budget, on this, on creating these things that didn't exist, like the baby stroller that had to be made, the big crib, her whole room with all those Barbie
For
dolls,
sure, yeah.
and all that work just to put a sexualized adult baby woman in the movie.
But that was also
Fucking
very
weird.
Terrifying. It was terrifying.
No, there was nothing scary about a sexy baby, Dave. There's just not. It's not scary. There could be one, and it reminded me
I
of.
feel like that would be a terrifying thing. I don't know.
It reminded me of when you go to a haunted house attraction, and they've got girls there that are working, and they decided to, instead of going for horrifying, go for like a sexy clown that's kind of got blood on or whatever. That's what it reminded me of, like haunted house attraction gone wrong. Like Hot Topic is not scary. Like that's all. It seemed Hot Topic to me.
All right.
Decomposition must not be an element in this reality, because there's meat just everywhere. Loose, open meat, no flies, no rot.
Loose meat
sandwiches.
Loose meat sandwich.
It's all over the basement. The ending was weird, but contained the most creative shot of the movie, when the bullet exits the barrel of Auntie Lee's gun and finishes Sheriff Cole. That was creative. Why did they even do that? Why did they bother? I thought this was a total blast, and I will be buying this. It'll be my first Vincent purchase. But I give it an 8 out of 10. It would have been a 10 if they would have like splattered it up, like really did some gore. It could be bad. I don't care. Make it look like paint. I don't give a shit. But yeah, anyways, on to you, Jason.
So we got a horror comedy. This didn't really have any laugh out loud moments for me, but it's definitely a goofy movie. I believe this is the first time I said, what's his name? Pat Morita. This is the first time I've seen him in anything but Mr. Miyagi role. Karen Black, crazy as always. I'm pretty sure like that's her. Like I think I remember hearing stories like she's legit like crazy and difficult to work with.
Probably, yeah.
She pulls those kind of roles off like really well. Always nice to see Michael Berryman. Going off what you said, yeah, he's capable of more, but that character fit this goofy movie. So that was, I didn't have no problem with that. Mostly this is all less than par acting, I would say, but again, it works for the movie. And the effects weren't great, but I think there are a few good kills. Like that was supposed to be a shower scene or whatever was going on there. She ends up she beheading with a cleaver or something. Like that was a pretty good scene. The hook through the chin, I thought that was pretty good. Another great pool scene. Something about pool scenes in movies I love. Half naked chicks running around the whole movie, lots of nudity. I'm kind of with Jared. I went in with this expecting this to be awful, and I was surprised. It was better than I thought it was going to be. It's a good bad movie. It's not necessarily my thing.
Agreed.
But I put it right there in the middle. I gave it a 5 out of 10. John?
All right, so I had a difficult time rating this one because what year did it come out? Was it like 92 or something
92.
like that?
Yeah, it does not seem
92,
like it.
right. Had I seen it when I was that old, or I should say that young, I probably would have liked it a lot more. But seeing it for the first time at 40, it was just like kind of a slog for me. Don't get me wrong, there were parts. Karen Black was funny. I'm a big Terry Weigel fan from way back, so that was nice. It was nice seeing her in a film like was it that cheerleader camp?
Oh yeah.
But you know the cover,
Yeah, for sure.
stick with the thing, and so that was fun seeing her. And I'm like, I was like, why are all these hot women that can't act in this movie? And I go back, and the two that I didn't recognize, like the blonde and the Asian girl, I couldn't. It said they were playmates. I was like, oh, all right, that totally makes sense, but why? And then Frank, you said that dude directed like a lot of like porn shit like that. So it's like all right,
titles.
he's in the realm, he's in the ballpark. So he's like, I know some chicks that are hot, and I don't care if they can't act. And he grabbed them. So seeing this for the first time at 40, it's, I was hoping for more. I've seen it a bunch, or like box art on Tubi and all that stuff, and I always passed by it. So I'm glad I watched it and everything. I dug the effects. I didn't mind that they're bad. I'm a sucker for bad effects. But I didn't get the satanic thing. Totally felt forced.
Well, yeah, and how metal is that band? That band was so fucking metal that they didn't even think it was weird.
Right?
They're
like,
fucking
these
ritual.
So metal, dude. But what were they getting out of it? Was this strictly just worshiping? Or did they make a deal? Like, I wanted a little, if they were going to shoehorn that in, give me a backstory. Like, why are they doing this? Eternal life? Like, what's the deal?
Need a prequel.
Like, here, satanic and cannibal. Sweet. Let's get it in there. Shove it in that meat pie. Like, just shove it all in there. I mean, if this young me would have had a great time with this movie. This is young me all day, but old me, I'm just like, well, I saw this way too late in life. It's like seeing Goonies for the first time at this age. Like, I can't really relate.
I still think that people should enjoy Goonies at any age.
But if they're seeing it for the first time, like at 40,
I don't know. I didn't see Dark Crystal until late, and I don't like that movie. So
they'll be like, "Oh shit, Thanos is on a girl's bike. Look at that shit." Thanos is such a pussy. Look at him. He's getting beat up by that yuppie. Like. So older people probably couldn't relate to Goonies now, but I felt like even at, what was it? Was it hour and 40? That was like way too long.
That's a little long.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Now I like long movies. I'll watch
I don't.
fucking 3.5 hour movie if it's compelling enough. But even at just an hour 40, it took a long time. So I gave it a 5. I appreciated the effort. Little me would have dug it, just not 40-year-old me. So
go for it, Randy.
Okay.
What you got?
Well, so I didn't hate it as much as I let Frank on, but I didn't like it. This isn't as Frank said, this is his kind of movie. This is not my kind of movie. I don't normally enjoy this kind of stuff unless it's a little funnier. And this had, like Jason said, it had some good laughs, but nothing like belly laughs. It was just kind of like, oh, that's cool, But I liked, like I said, there were funny parts. I thought Pat and Mike were great. Like everybody's already said, that Karen Black was fantastic too. I liked all of her little quips here and there. I mean, how can you hate having so many beautiful women constantly, in the movie? I wasn't mad about that at all. But there were things about it that just agitated me. The length, for sure. Like the Satanism stuff, like they tacked it on at the end. I'm wholeheartedly agreed. Either be cannibals or be Satanists, or explain why it makes sense. Otherwise, you lose me. But again, I don't think this really mattered. Like, if you guys notice, all the girls, the one thing I did think was clever, all the girls had these different rooms. For what reason, though? Like,
well, they had
why
to have
was one a
killing.
snake? Well, right, but I mean, like, what was the point? Were they all representations of a certain demon, or they were worshiping all different?
I think it was a contract thing. I think they're like, we're going to give you each your own little vignette.
We're going to articulate this up.
Yeah, so
get your own booker room.
Some of the kills were really cool. I liked the gore. This is that time period where I started to get into this stuff. So I've never seen this before, but I remember Frank making me watch these kind of movies, and I like this type of gore. I know it looks rubbery nowadays, but for that time period, it was pretty cool, So this was stuff that they could show on TV still and get away with it because it didn't look too real, So I liked it. Like I said, it just drug on for me. The band I thought was horrid. I liked the opening song. Frank, good call on that. I actually wrote that down. I thought that part of the intro was neat, but overall, it wasn't something I can't tell a casual viewer, like, I like some horror films, to watch this. This is like a specific, like, did you grow up watching this kind of Cannibal Holocaust? Then you're going to like this. You know what I mean? Like, so I gave it a 5 out of 10. I will never watch it again. I have no need to. I've seen it once. I'm good to go. So, but I was just busting Frank's chops all week on it because I thought it was funny. You get him going. So, I didn't enjoy it, but I had fun watching it. So,